What's going on, everybody? Episode 17 of the Pearson Podcast. Hope you all are having a beautiful, wonderful day. I apologize, but I do not have really anything set for this podcast. I'm just going to ramble and, go with the flow of my brain. So today has been today's been a nice day. I got coffee with my little brother this morning because we're having he's having some work done on his car. He just got his first car. As if you guys watched the podcast with him, it was with, I don't know which episode, but it was with Jax. He's the brother I'm talking about. He got his first car recently. It's like a 2004 Hyundai, I forgot what it's called. Hyundai, something. But yeah, it's real nice miles, and got really lucky with it. But right now he took it in to get a general inspection, get the timing belts fixed, things like that. Apparently they found something else that they may have to fix, so it's unfortunate, but it's just the way life goes sometimes. I recently had to depart on my car. Man, I had a 2003 Acura MDX, and man, that car, for one, saved my life multiple times. I guess I'll get into whichever times I remember, but right off the bat, recently, me and my brother, I was driving him to his orthodontist appointment for his braces, and we were driving down the freeway, chill, not even talking, just listening to music or whatever, and out of nowhere, this deer comes running to the side, and I'm gonna keep these on. All right, and I didn't. Luckily, I've had that car for a long time, and kind of just had enough muscle memory for that car to know exactly what to do in that moment. If it was a new car, that would have been very. It was almost like so close that there's not a whole lot you would have been able to do. But luckily, I knew a lot about that car and exactly how it handles and everything, so I was able to. I was driving down, it came from the right side, and I couldn't have braked. If I just braked and didn't turn, I would have smacked right into it. But so I basically put on the brakes gradually, but quickly, not like slammed on them. Slowly braked, slowly turned to the right, all controlled, and just basically zoomed right around it. I have a dash cam on my in all my cars, so it's I have the footage. The thing is it doesn't capture how fast we were going, and it's crazy. It doesn't transmit through video how fast. But what sucks is I thought I was recording audio, and to my little brother who was sitting there, I'm like, that's how it's done, Jax. Because I don't know, that was exactly what you had to have done to not get smacked in the back by a car from slamming on her brakes, and also smashing the deer, of course. That's not good. And it all worked out great, but the thing that saved me is those great tires and brakes that I got recently, which, I mean, completely saved me. So another time that saved me. I mean, there's been countless times, but these are the two noticeable ones. I was on a mountain road, and like, I don't know if you guys I live in Washington State, so it's like there's a lot of logging roads, which are basically like if there's a mountain and loggers use these roads to go up to the tops of mountains to, log. And what you do is a lot of the times is when you go up there, there will be a cool view or a camping site or a hiking site or something like that, or just a place to chill and make a fire and hang out. And that's what we would do a lot of the times. Just go find a random logging road and just chill around a fire and hang out. So this time we just found a random logging road, and we were going up, and it was kind of in the winter months. So, but it wasn't snowing. So, but once you get high in elevation, you never know what you're gonna find. So the road started getting snowy, and we were like, I mean, I kept saying, I'm like, we gotta turn around. I already had a fear of going on logging roads because it's like to the side of you, it's like oftentimes a sheer cliff, and you do not want to, lose, you don't want to slide or anything like that. Like, it's intense. And, basically, long story short, is we kept pushing because I was waiting for a turnaround spot, and I'm like, it's just getting too snowy, I gotta turn around in the middle of the thing, because I was just too scared if we were gonna keep going, we were gonna slide off or something like that. So, and I found like a little, like where the road got a little wide, and did my best to turn around. Some, my friends got out to, check how far I could go back and forward to not slide off. So I was basically, the road is going straight ahead. I completely rotated to where I'm basically like, if you're on a road, you basically turn 45 degrees. So you're like, I don't know, what, adjacent maybe to the road. I'm not sure, but my back end starts sliding off towards the sheer cliff, and I mean, any other car that didn't have all-wheel drive down the hill, I mean, the very least the car would have been obliterated, but I probably would have died. And I just put the gas on a little bit, and it carried me right back up and made it to where I stopped sliding and turned around and about crapped myself. I mean, it was like, I don't know, like, it's just like these dirt roads and these mountain roads are no joke. Like, it just gives me anxiety. Just like, I mean, you're driving, and the thing is so bad. It's like, one, the roads are bad condition. Two, you're high up. Three, like, they're like a car's width. Like, it's not like a 2-lane thing. Like, if there's a car coming down the mountain as you're going up, or vice versa, one of you guys has to go to the side and let them pass. Like, there's no like moving around each other while you guys are going quick. It's like, and obviously you run the risk of like getting a semi trucks go up there. I don't know how. Don't ask me how. I would never do it, but like, you run the risk of going around a turn having a ding dong semi truck coming at you. I mean, it's intense. one of the I'll just tell this story just a little bit. Me and Dallas will go into a deeper explanation of the story, but there is this place called Jackman Creek. I believe it was Jackman Creek, and it was basically, you go on a logging road for a very long time, and there was supposed to be some sort of camping site slash trail, but we just couldn't find it. We eventually found the creek. No, we went there because there was just some random guy on YouTube that said there's been Bigfoot, like he's a Bigfoot hunter, and he said he like heard stuff or something at night, and he's like big into Bigfoot research, and me and Dallas, we like that kind of stuff. It's fun. We can, whole other thing we can go into is about the aliens. I mean, if you want to go see that video, it's on the channel called RPG Man 007, where it's named like, I don't know, possibly the best evidence of UFO, something like that. But that was my old channel. You guys can check that if you want. But that was like a whole nother thing. We parked at this spot, and like we could see these alien type things and whatever. That's a whole nother story. So we like, special, just weird stuff like that. Bigfoot, aliens, blah blah blah. So we were like, cool, well, let's go down there and see what we can find. And we were just looking for a vacation, because that's vacations for us. Vacations for us, I mean, yes, it's also going to a cool place and an Airbnb and chillaxing, but a vacation for us is also going balls deep into the wilderness and pitching up a tent and living like that. Because as we've talked about in the Unalaska video, or the Dallas, I think it was like episode 5 or something, it was with me and Dallas, where we talk about the Unalaska trip. The appreciation you get when you come back from trips like that is, I mean, money can't buy that. And so we yeah, we were like, Bigfoot time, cool. Plus just looking for a vacation, and it just worked out that we live decently close to this place. So it's a logging road. You go down. We were looking for a bridge, and we went down this road. I mean, I don't know, probably like, I forgot, probably like 4 to 6 miles. But the thing is, on a logging road, you're going like, like 5 to 10 miles an hour. So it took a while to get down there, and it's obviously sketchy and everything like that. So we finally get to this bridge. We post up at the beginning of the bridge and park the car. We always, me and Dallas, bring like the minimum, and on this one we actually brought less than minimum, because we had to end up going back into town, making that trek all the way back into town and then coming back. So basically, I just kind of want to get into this, give you guys a little taste of what this trip was, because we can get more into it on either the Meat Locker podcast, or I can just have Dallas on whenever he can. He's a busy guy. But this was a super fun trip. And so basically we got there, and Washington state forests, they're thick. They're not like, you look up forest on Google Images and you see just like a few trees, a couple bushes, but you can walk right through. Washington forests are like, you need a machete, and it's like the ground is loose and dirty, and there's moss, and there's thorn bushes and stinging nettle, and like, it's beautiful. It's beyond beautiful. once you can get to like meadows and things like that, and even the thick forests are beautiful, but they're just difficult to get through. So we're like hacking away um, through this brush, just looking for a cool spot to post up for to sleep, to camp. And it took us, I don't know, an hour to go probably the length of a football field. And that was like far enough. Like we found this decent looking tree. There was like a fallen over tree. And we decided we would kind of make a fort, put our tent inside the fort, and put like a tarp over the tree and kind of make like uh, uh, a kind of a shelter. And so the first and this was, so basically you started at, let's say, sea level. It's not sea level, but whatever. You start at sea level, like on the highway to get to the camping site, and then you go up the mountain, up the logging trail, and then down the mountain from the logging trail, and then deep into the valley. And the valley, it was so deep, and the mountain was right next to it was so high that the sun never touched this area of the valley. Like, it never touches it. Like, I'm pretty sure it was almost summertime, and there was like frost there. And we don't have like crazy warm summers, but it's not like there's frost or anything like that during the summer. So we were like, this, and this was one of our first few camping trips. So now if we did it and we saw frost, we would know. I mean, there would be so many things we would do differently. But that's the thing about life, constantly learning. So for the first day, everything was wet. We couldn't get a fire started. Everything is wet. We set up camp. The dirt was hard to dig through, because when you're setting up a camp or a tent, you want the ground, the dirt that you're setting the camp on, to be relatively level and smooth, so you don't get a root up the A. So basically, it was difficult. I don't know. I think Dallas was trying to get firewood while I was making the shelter, and he just wasn't having any luck because everything was wet. So we tried our best to make a fire. First night just didn't work. So that night, it was a cold one. It was very cold. Luckily, I dumbly brought my like giant sleeping bag, even though hindsight, I should have brought one that I could have put in my backpack like Dallas did. But then again, because we didn't think it was going to be that cold, because it's summertime. We didn't think that the camping spot was going to be at the bottom of a valley. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, first night, nothing crazy with the first night. It was very cold, but it was manageable. And so second day, we were going out for 2 nights, I believe. Or I don't think we had anything planned, but we decided it ended up being 2 nights we were sleeping over there. Wake up in the next morning, wake up to frost, crazy. And so we were like, that was crazy cold. We need to make a fire today. So we spent a very long time looking for firewood. Just couldn't do it. We were like, if we want to have a fire, we have to go back into town, get the crap, and get some firewood and bring it back. So actually on this trip back, we saw like some guy in a tractor or like a excavator on the road, And on the on the part of the road that we're at the top of the mountain, and to the right was a literal cliff, like hundreds of feet down. He sees us and he like pulls off to the side and pulls off so far to the side that, I mean, he must just do it all day because he was so confident in it. God, we were like, what if he just tips over right now? Like, what are we supposed to do? But he didn't. He was a professional. So he let us pass and went into town. It was a hassle, of course, annoying going, back to the car, back to town, and back up. But whatever. It was nice having a fire in the end. And so we do that, bring back the firewood, have a fire for that night. And this night, like, it was all great. It was super fun. We were chilling by the fire, made some top ramen, had a couple brews, I think. It was fun. And that night, okay, we're like, all right, let's go to sleep, blah, blah, blah. That night got so cold. Like, I don't know how it was for Dallas, but Dallas was dying. Because I brought the giant sleeping bag too. So if I didn't have that, I would be dying. But Dallas, he's got 1% body fat. So for him, he's probably like much worse than what it would be for me. But so I was in the big sleeping bag and I was cold, and obviously when it was cold like that, you just sleep with all your clothes and like literally all your clothes, like 3 pairs of socks and your gloves and your hat and whatever, like everything. And he did, but he was still freezing cold. And you've heard us say before, now we bring the sleeping pads. Game changer, complete game changer. I was making sure no one's listening to me. So now next time we bring the sleeping pads, because as you've heard us say before, 90% of the temperature you get at that point is from the floor up, and that's probably why Dallas was dying. So so I was like nestled in, and he was like, "Yo, Riley, we need to set up the space blanket." If you don't know what a space blanket is, it's like this, basically looks like a very thin aluminum foil type blanket that you can wrap yourself in, and it holds in like all your body heat. And so we were like, okay, and we basically taped the space blanket to the roof as like a makeshift roof, so it was like above us, like so it, our thought was holding the heat. And then we had this little candle, which actually helped quite a bit. I mean, you want to think a little candle helped, but we put our hands next to it, and it helped quite a bit. It was decently helpful. And let me just save this right quick. And so yeah, that night he barely even survived. He barely survived that day. Like literally, he was struggling. So that was, I mean, we can get into more detailed analysis of that trip with Dallas, because I definitely want to hear his side of the story as well. Because I was, if you guys watched the Unalaska video, I was dying that last night in Unalaska as well. So I want to know, like, I don't know. So let me think here. Do I want to get into anything else? Or is there anything else to get into? Sorry that the Meat Locker podcast Alright, well, sorry about that. I have Do Not Disturb on my door and still got disturbed. So now I'm not really in the mood to continue, but I am sorry that the Meat Locker podcast did not come up Friday for the 5 people in the world that were waiting for it. But yeah, that one's coming this Friday for sure. If it doesn't come this Friday, I don't know if it's ever gonna happen, because these people, actually, never mind. I was gonna say these people need to know how necessary it is, but they do. They just need to. It's not even they. It's things. Things happen. I get that. But whatever. It's coming this Friday. Hope you all enjoyed this episode, and see you all next Monday. Thank you very much. Peace.